Hi everyone, I'm Harriet Rose and welcome to the behind the scenes for my debut single, Small Town Chains. In this video, we'll be taking a look back at how I came to write the song and the whole recording process. So let's go!
Grow up in a small town, always something going down. People need something to pass the time. Never have a secret, never could you keep it. This place was built on a pagan lie.
So I wrote the song during lockdown and I'd just been out on a walk near where I live, and I started thinking how different things musically for me might have been if I was perhaps born somewhere different. As in a lot of places, music isn't seen as a real career, and that's no different here, unfortunately. But anyway, I went home and I was still thinking about it, so I went upstairs, grabbed my guitar and just started playing about. And I found some chords that I really liked, started jamming, and then just kind of let the words flow and picked up a few things that I liked, started writing everything down and voice memoing things, and then just left it for a little while and let it sit and see if I still like it. Sometimes I do that with songs and I'll go back to it and I'll be like, what were you thinking? But no, this one I quite liked, so I went back to it and carried on writing it for the rest of the evening and finished it off as such. And then a couple of days later I went back to see if I remembered it all, and it was all still there, and I really liked it, so I thought, you know, I'm going to have to do something with this, and obviously that is what I've done, so yeah. So during lockdown I'd been working quite a bit on writing some new songs and new music, but Small Town Chains was one that I just kept picking up and playing over and over again, so I knew I wanted to do something with it. As restrictions started to lift and you could finally go out again, I got in touch with Pete at Flatwave Music and asked if I could come down and play the song and see what he thought. So that's what I did. I popped down and I played him the track, and he kind of went a bit mental for it and said, we have to do something with this track, you know, you'd be daft not to. So yeah, we sat down, he's put a couple of mics up and we did a rough demo just so we had it, and then we started discussing, you know, how to make it a track and where I wanted it to go and the different directions and arrangements and different opportunities we had with it. I made it quite clear from the start that I wanted this to be a guitar led track, because when it is just me on stage, me and my guitar, the guitar it's always been there and it's part of the song massively. And yeah, we just put a plan together and set a date, and then we got going with the pre-production. The recording process was something that I was really excited to get going with, because I had never had the opportunity before to be fully involved from start to finish with the process, and to also get to play quite a bit as well. So we started out just tracking my guitar to a click and then using that as the basis to build the song and add all the layers to it. I invited along two of my good friends, Danny Smart and Tom Jane, who are incredible musicians and singer-songwriters in their own right. I knew their styles would complement the track perfectly, and when I asked them, they both said yes really quickly. And I don't know if that's just because they were locked away for a few months and just wanted to get out, but either way, it worked. It was such a fun time in the studio. We had some really long days, some late nights, a lot of play it again, do that again, play it like that but a bit different. Probably me being a complete pain because I didn't know exactly what I wanted. I knew what I didn't want, and in my head I could hear what I was after, but trying to portray that to someone is a really difficult thing. But we got there in the end, and it was fine and really fun. And once we'd got that part of the song down, the majority of the body of the song, we then moved on to the vocals, which was my responsibility, and it took about a day to do the main vocal. A lot of Pete telling me to try again and to sing it again, just to make sure it was the best it could be and it had the feeling that it needed at the right parts in the song. And then I also got to do all my own harmonies and backing vocal, which was slightly daunting as I'd never really had that chance before, but really exciting to be able to just stand and work it out bit by bit, layer it up bit by bit, and then hear it come together in the end in the finished product, which you may have heard on the single promo on social media. So once the vocals were down, you know, and the song was kind of finished but not finished, because it's never finished unless, you know, you say it is, we then moved on to mixing and editing, and Pete cleaned it all up, you know, taking the breaths out and the little noises that it picks up when you're recording. And then we worked together on the mixing and making sure that everything had the correct sound, nothing was fighting with each other, and it gave the song the feel that I was after. And we moved forward with mastering. I took it away a couple of days and sat on it, and there were a few things that we weren't sure of together, and we wanted to try something a little bit different just to see if it improved the song. You know, there's no harm in trying something as long as you can say, well, we've tried it, that isn't what works, this is what works, this is the best it can be. And then when we finally got there and the song was finished, yeah, it was the best feeling ever to have something come to life that you'd worked on entirely, and to know that you were part of that full process and watched it from start to finish. It was the best feeling ever. So when the track was mastered and finished, I then moved on to thinking about the artwork and things I could use to post on social media and for promotion. I initially had a couple of ideas and concepts which we mocked up rough, and they were alright, but there was just something about them that didn't embody and match the song the way I wanted it to. So we left it for a while. I went home to think about it, and one night I came across this photo, which I'm sure most of you have seen by now, as it is the single artwork that we've gone with. But yeah, as soon as I saw this, I knew that this was it. This is what I had to use. I took it to Pete's the next day and said, what do you think? And we were both in agreement that we had to use it somewhere, whether it was the artwork at that point or it was just something we used to promote it, that had to be there. And I've had a few people asking and messaging me, and it is me, it is a little Harriet. And the story of this photo is, it was my birthday. I'd just been out to my birthday party, and it was a horrific ordeal as I was chased the whole time by a guy dressed in a bear suit, and I hated it. And when I got home, I then had to do a birthday photo shoot, which I also didn't want to do, as you can quite clearly see in my face there. So that's the story of the photo. And in terms of the song, you know, I saw this and saw a sad little me, and the song was inspired by the thought of not being happy, wondering how different things could be if I could get out, or if I'd been born somewhere else, and just having a little Harriet that quite clearly in this situation didn't want to be there and wanted to get out. I thought it tied in perfectly, and that's what we ran with. There we are, guys. So that was a brief insight into how Small Town Chains evolved from a song that I wrote in my bedroom to the fully produced track that it is today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you'd like to purchase the song and haven't already, it is now available on all major streaming platforms. If you would like any more information or links to my socials, you can find them all on my website, harrietrosemusic.com. I hope to see you all soon, and keep your eyes peeled for more new music on the way. See you later.
'Cause these small town chains, they can hold